Hi, and welcome to this week's collection of exam questions. 6 that are crossover. They're at the end of foundation, they're at the beginning of higher. It's going to follow the exact same format. The only thing that's different is my voice. So I shall do my best and hopefully I'm coming across clear enough. So the first 2 questions are already on the screen. So hit pause and press play when you're ready to take a look at the solution. Okay, the first question is often answered incorrectly. Now, obviously, this isn't a lesson, it's just a very quick solution section. But I do want to give a little bit of background on this because it is something that is commonly going wrong with students. So I know that 4.5 kilometers will be 4,500 meters. Now I know that because the K in my kilometers stands for 1,000. So I'm timesing by 1,000, but that isn't the question. The question is kilometers squared. So when I have kilometers, I times by 1,000. When I have kilometers squared, I times by 1,000 squared. And it's that connection that gets you into solving this problem. So what I've got to do is 4.5 times 1,000 times 1,000. That's 1,000 squared, which is going to give me 45 with 5 zeros on the end. Now, if you got that right, really well done, because as I say, they are tricky. The next question is a ratio. So I've got Carol and Delia in the ratio of 3:8. Now, the question goes on to say that Delia gets the £325 more. So that 325 doesn't live here in Delia's column because it's not what she gets. She gets 325 more. So this is when we use our invisible column. I'm going to label it more. When I just look at the ratio and don't worry about the question, I can see that Delia gets 5 more. So I put that in. The question is all about her getting 325 more. How do I get from 5 to 325? I times by 65, and then I do the same this side, and it gets me the answer. They don't want everything, they just want Carol. So we do Carol, which is 3 times 65 to get our final answer of 195. And obviously that's pounds. Okay. Next question, hit pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, so this is what we call a 2-tick question, all right? The question has a percentage in it and it's all about an increase, interest is added. So we have an increase question as well. And when you get a 2-tick question, you should be thinking about original times multiplier equals result, which is the formula that we use in class. Now, you have to be really careful with this one because when you have become confident with taking this step, what also happens is you aren't sure then how to work a multiplier out when you've got 2 different percentages. Now, the common mistake that happens here is that you combine them. That's not what you do. You can't combine them. You actually have to work on them separately. Okay, so for the first year, we are investing £2,000 at an interest of 4%. Now the multiplier is 100% plus that 4% in the question, which is 104%. The decimal version of 104% is 1.04. So you pop that into your calculator. All these questions came from a calculator paper and you get 2080. Now that value is what starts the second year. I times that through a multiplier of 1%, 1.01, which gives me that as a final answer. And it's money, obviously, it would look like that. Never forget that 0 when it comes to money. Now I've got to repeat that whole process with the friendly bank so that I can actually make a comparison and answer the question, which would be the best bank for her to invest in. So there's no shortcuts. You literally have to do it all. 1.05 for the first one, which is 2,100. And then 2,000 times, and it's 0.5%. Don't guess this. Work it out properly. 100% plus, 0.5% is 100.5%. Now, when you divide that through by 100, you will end up with 0.005, which gives you 2110.5, or stick on the 0 and you have that. Now, for comparison, I can see that the friendly bank is actually a better place to put that money. Make sure you answer that question. Which bank? Don't just leave it with the maths. Answer the question as well. Okay, next question. Okay. Hit pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, now you could take a trial and error approach here to see if you can work it out that way, but this question is really designed to be solved using simultaneous equations. If you think about that very first sentence, you've got 30 litres and you've got 4 litres, one's petrol, one's oil, okay? And then you've got those two same variables coming up again. So what you would do is you would write 30p for petrol, otherwise you're going to get confused. We don't want to use the L. And when I add 4 litres of oil, now for me, an O would be a crazy letter to use because it's going to look like a 0. So I might actually now use an L just so that I can have that represent my oil. I know that equals 46. And then I just repeat that. I've got 24p plus 8L, and that's equaling 45.20. Once I've done that, I've basically written the sentences in shorthand in code. It's created simultaneous equations, which I am going to go on and solve. So if I just double this one here, I can get these to match. And that's what I want to do. I want either the P's or the L's to get a matching number. And the easiest one to choose is the middle, which has the L's in it. So I'm going to times through by 2. Everything gets multiplied through. So I've got 60p plus 8L equaling 92. And then this stays the same because I want the middle to match. Once I've got my match, I'm going to take away, show my takeaway. 60 take away 24 is 36p. They've gone. If I've got 8 L's and I take 8 L's away, they're gone. That's the point of the method. And that is equal to 46.8. If I want to know what P is, I'm going to divide through by 36. And that's going to give me P equaling £1.30. I then take that and I put it into one of my equations, and it really doesn't matter which one. So I'm just going to choose the top one. I've got 30p. 30 times £1.30 is equal to 39. So I now know that I've got 39 for my petrol plus 4 litres equaling 46. Take off 39, and I've got 4 litres of oil equaling 7. Divide through by that. Sorry, I'm writing 7 again. Divide through by 4, and your litres is £1.75. So you need to be fairly good at simultaneous equations. If that's an area you feel you need to brush up on, there is a quick how-to help video on that, which shows it when it's not in sentence form, and it might be a better place to start if you feel that you need to really do some work in that particular area. Okay, your next question. Hit pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, so reading the question, I've got a percentage and I got a decrease. It's being reduced. So I know that this is a 2-tick question, which is original times multiplier equals result. So let's do the multiplier first of all. The story is saying that the normal price of a book is reduced, so it's a decrease by 10%. So I start with my 100, I take off my 10%, and that gives me 90%. 90% as a decimal, dividing through by 100 is 0.9. So the original, the normal price of the book is something I don't know. So I can't put a number in that bit, but I know when it gets multiplied by 0.9, it gives the sale price of £4.86. Now, if I want to know what the original is, I need to get that times by 0.9 across to the other side. Get the original on its own means I divide through by 0.9. And when I do that, I get the answer, £5.40. And obviously that's not the only way to do this or approach this. If this is a new idea, the original times multiply equals result, then I've got a whole series on that. But hopefully you have a secure method and you are getting that right. Okay, last question. Hit pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, the diagram shows 3 sides of a regular polygon. As soon as I read that word regular, I literally do not even carry on reading the question. That triggers this, 360, SI for sides, and that's my exterior angle. I know that without that triangle, I'm not going to get very far. So the trigger is regular. I've drawn the triangle. I'm going to carry on reading. It says each interior angle of the regular polygon is 150 degrees. Well, I can see that in the diagram. They've shown me that. And I've got to work out the sides. Well, that's handy because I've got a formula right here that shows me what I need to do to find the sides. I need to do 360 divided by the exterior angle. I do know the exterior angle. It's not there, but I do know it if I have this piece of knowledge. The exterior lies next to the interior on a straight line. Straight lines are 180, which makes my exterior angle 30. So 180 take away 150. Write it down. Don't just write answers. We want to make sure we maximize every opportunity to get marks. So using the formula, I'm going to do 360, divide it by 30. It gives me 12. So the answer is 12 sides. Okay, hopefully that has been a really useful set of questions for you. If you are finding it helpful, please do subscribe. These are going up all the time. I'm really trying as hard as I can to do it a little bit more regularly so that there is more revision available for you. So they aren't always coming on a Monday now. They can pop up at any time. All right, thank you for taking the time to do this with us at Target Maths, and I'll see you again soon.